So Hirsch keeps it at a 1-2 count, just trying to fight for his right to party. That one goes inside. Did it clip Hirsch? Home plate umpire Casey Hayden will say it won't, and that allows Daly and Labrusciano to advance and put themselves in scoring position.
It's pretty uncharacteristic here from Miller, but he's still got Hirsch on a 2-strike count. Just you got to keep the ball in front of you if you're Clayton on the other end of it. These are two teammates here at Florida going with the battery duo right now.
2-2. This one's blasted. Deep left field. Buchanan going back, and this one is gone. So Mark Hirsch takes the hanging slider from Miller, deposits it over the left field fence, and this is a brand new ball game with the Winchester Royals leading 7-5.
And this is just a bad pitch from Miller. It's a hanging slider, and we really haven't seen this from Hirsch at all in the VBL, but he got a hold of that one. But it's the interesting thing about Valley League Baseball is that even though it seems like a home run, it's such a significant moment because you just don't see them hit very often, especially at this ballpark. And Buchanan got over there in time, but there's just nothing he could do.
So Miller back to work in a fresh at-bat. This pitch misses the inside corner. The first 3 runs he has given up this season all come in one singular at-bat. 1-0 to the 9-hole hitter, Troy Davis, also misses for ball 2. 2-0 pitch to Davis. Inside again for ball 3. So Miller struggling to find the zone now. Maybe a little rattled after the homer.
Yeah, and Randy Tallman kind of pacing the dugout. This might be it here for Miller.
3-0 finds the zone for strike 1. This one tapped back to run the count full. Miller's next pitch. On the outside, ball 4. And Miller walks another batter as it turns it over to the top of the lineup in Jaime Padilla.
And these are just the first runs that Winchester has scored since the 2nd inning. Since then, the next 5 have been scoreless. But Randy Tallman's going to stay in the dugout here. They're going to let Miller see this one out first at the top of the order.
Miller's first pitch to Padilla. Fastball outside. And Miller struggling to find the zone consistently in these last 2 at-bats. The 1-0. Down low off of the knee guard of Brock Clayton. It'll bounce to the backstop, and it'll allow Davis to advance to second unimpeded.
Now Randy Tomlin's going to go out there. Bradley Link is watching in the bullpen here. Not sure if they're going to pull him mid at bat, but we've seen him do it before.
So just as a recap on this inning, Miller strikes out the first batter in Joey Agar. AJ Labrusciano walks. Jake Daly hit by a pitch, and Mark Hirsch clubs a 3-run homer, followed by a Troy Davis walk, and that'll be it for McCall Miller. So Bradley Link summoned from the bullpen. We'll be back on the other side of this Tom Sox pitching change here on the Sox Broadcast Network. moment of peril for the Sox. They'll turn to the man that's pitched the most ball games for them this season, Bradley Link, in his 9 games, has a 2-2 record, 19 innings pitched, a 7.57 ERA. He'll inherit a 2-0 count and a runner on second, courtesy of McCall Bymiller. First pitch there, a called strike for Link. Link gets his sign, and a 2-1 count to the 2-hitter. This one misses. Padilla ahead 3-1. And in a good spot to bring in another run for the Royals. Link on the stretch delivers. This one's tapped towards third. Nias has to make a tough play and throw not in time. Williams had to go up high to just keep it from going over his head, and so a base hit for Padilla puts runners on the corners.
Yeah, I think the only way Nias has a chance is if he barehands his ball, but you could see he wasn't comfortable doing that, which given how he has been at third base this game, that's fine, but it's going to be a tough play anyway to get the speedy Padilla, but you're really more concerned about that runner on third here if you're the Sox.
So a double play, still a possibility, 1 out. You'll face Connor Guy. First pitch, Padilla goes, Clayton fires to third. The aggressiveness won't pay off as Padilla snags second, a called strike from Lincoln. Throw to third, not in time to get the runner there. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Royals. This Link delivers to Guy. This breaking ball loops up high for ball 1.
So they're going to bring Soroy in on the grass as well as Nias, but they're going to leave Luderman back at second. I think all these infielders are ready for a throw home.
This one smoked through the hole into right field. Davis will score. Here comes Padilla. The throw from Langley will go to the cutoff Williams, who can't corral it. And so a 2 RBI single for Connor Guy pushes the lead to 4. So both those runs charged to McCall Bymiller. So 5 runs allowed by Bymiller. First pitch to the 3-hitter Todd Abraham. So now 1-0. Next pitch finds the strike zone to even it up at 1-1. Links 1-1, runner goes. Clayton's throw to second. Tag not in time. So Guy swipes another bag, his 18th of the year. He's been impressive on the base paths for the Royals. Link now in a 2-1 count. His pitch swung on and missed. And the count moves to 2-2. Sox just trying to get out of this nightmare inning. Link checks Guy at second, now comes to the plate. This one tapped back up the middle. Soroy gloves it right in front of the bag, fires onto Williams at first in time for out number 2.
Yeah, so this is the last batter here before Winchester bats around. So this is really, you have to get him out here. They've already gotten 5 runs in, and this is kind of what the Tom Sox get for, you know, leaving 4 donuts on the board before this. And this game has been close for pretty much the entire game, but right now Winchester is very close to putting it out of reach.
Sox didn't strike while the iron was hot, and now they find themselves behind as the first pitch to Parker Fry misses outside for ball 1.
This is kind of what we saw yesterday, and the Tom Sox they've left a runner on in 4 of 6 innings.
This one gets past Clayton, and Guy's going to speed to the plate and bring home the 10th run of the ball game for the Royals. So now the base is cleared. Nobody on for Bradley Link. Link will deliver to Fry. This one's a line drive into shallow right center field that'll drop in for a base hit. And so the hit parade keeps rolling for the Royals in this inning as Fry gets himself on base.
Now batting the designated hitter, Joey Agar.
So now we'll have to add another column to our scorebook. Joey Agar at the plate. Link's first pitch to Agar up high for a ball.
If this holds, KT would be 4 hits, 6 runs, 1 left on. No errors.
That's what it is, 4 hits.
It is Riley already warming up in the pen, but if you're Link here, you just need 1 out.
Fry taking his lead off of first. Link's 1-0 pitch finds the zone for strike 1. An even count. Link delivers. This one on the corner for strike 2. So Link 1 out away from ending the nightmare inning for the Sox. His next pitch, breaking ball below the zone for ball 2.
Is it
10-5 the score here in the top of the 7th. Link's 2-2. Fly down the left field line and out of play onto the grassy area in the parking lot.
And this inning started with promise. I mean, Beimiller came in, he struck out the first batter he faced looking, but then it was just like an on and off switch. It just turned off, and the wheels have really come off here.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Link ends the inning, but he can't stop the bleeding fully as the Royals put up 6 runs to take the lead. 10-5 the score after 6.5 innings. We'll take a break and see if the Sox can respond in the bottom of the 7th.
It is time for the 7th.
Tom Sox trailing 10-5 after 6.5 innings here at CHO Airport Field, and it was a nightmare top of the 7th for the Tom Sox. Again, an An inning we discussed that started as a very promising inning. McCall Bymiller started on the mound, struck out the first batter looking, then proceeded to walk a batter, hit a batter, and allow a 3-run homer that gave the Royals the lead. And the bleeding didn't stop there, with Winchester tallying 3 more runs to make it a 10-5 game. Sox will have to try and respond here with 2, 3, 4 due up in the order. Jackson Soroy set to lead it off for the Sox. Took a first pitch strike now. Grounds one into the hole, into right field, a base hit. And so a good start for the Sox, with Soroy reaching on his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Yeah, Soroy just continues his good performance from yesterday. He's got 3 singles in another game here. So, again, I mean, the extra base hits aren't really quite there yet, but if he keeps swinging like that, it's only a matter of time until he gets one.
Now it'll bring up Preston Gamster as another ball leaves the bullpen area and finds its way to the area behind home plate from the Sox. Gamston's been pretty suspiciously quiet today. 1 for 2 with a strikeout, sac fly, and a single back in the first. Gamster fouls that one back off the screen for strike 1. So a quick switch. The Sox and Royals struggled offensively for a long time in this game, and top of the 7th bursted open for the Royals as Kaiser delivers a pitch that misses for ball 1. Starter Owen Powell gave up 5 runs over 5 innings pitched, allowed on 8 hits, but he bunkered down after the 2nd inning. As Gamster checks his swing, first base umpire will say he did not go, and that'll be a 2-1 count. Gamster just trying to provide any run support here for the Sox. He grounds that one foul over towards the tent near the Royals dugout. So an even up 2-2 count to the man in the 3-hole. It's Preston Gamster. Kaiser on the stretch fires over a pickoff move to first. Soroy gets back in time.
I was going to say, he has a really good pickoff move, does Kaiser over there. There were a couple pitches where you couldn't really tell whether he was going or not, but being the lefty, he's allowed to do this.
So the 2-2 once again to Gamster. That one misses outside to run the count full. Elijah Williams on deck. He'll get the chance to bat in this inning. What he'll have on the base paths in front of him to be discussed. 3-2 to Gamster. Inside, ball 4. So runners on first and second for a guy that could put some runs across the plate for the Sox. Already has 3 RBIs on the day, and I'm sure he'd like to add some more. It will be a lefty-lefty matchup between himself and Kaiser.
Yeah, and it was a situation yesterday to where, I don't know if we've talked about it yet, but it was first and second, and they asked Williams to lay down a bunt, something which he said that he had basically never done before in a live game. And in this situation, when you're down by 5 runs, I think that you have to let him swing the bat, even though it's lefty-lefty.
Especially with a guy that's shown the power in his swing and the impact that one swing of his bat can have. I mean, think about the first inning. All the run support that was provided in that inning was courtesy of Elijah Williams. So he steps in to face Kaiser. Kaiser will look back at Soroy. Now he comes to the plate. First pitch, fastball on the outside half for strike 1. Kaiser gets his signs. Sees one he likes. Now he fires to the plate. Williams taps this one, and it'll get foul over towards the Sox dugout, but he'll be behind 0-2. He's going to have to battle to find any result in this at-bat. Already down in the count. In his unique stance, 0-2 to Williams. There's a nub shot right towards second. Nice catch made by Labruciano, and he'll double up Jackson Soroy. can hear the reaction from the Sox dugout. Not big fans of that call. So a double play spoils the momentum the Sox had.
I feel like we've seen this so often. This is when we talk about the poor BABIP luck, honestly, for the Sox. And this ball is not very hardly hit. But the fact that the umpires aren't even talking about this is pretty insane to me, because all three of them should have had a pretty good view of it. But the second base umpire insisted that Soroy was out, and we're going to keep playing.
First pitch to Nias from Kaiser is a strike. And it's sucked almost all the life out of the ballpark via one play. Here's the 0-1. Nias fouls that back off the screen. Again, it is tough for a summer league to have instant replay. It's tough for professional leagues to even get instant replay, but that's one instance where you'd like to have the ability of instant replay. So an 0-2 count. Kaiser looks to finish the inning, and he'll step off.
You just think about it, like, how many line drives to opposing defenders have we seen, and how many line drives right to the Tom Sox have we seen?
0-2, runner goes. Throw down to first is not in time. That one to second, and a good job there by Gamster to steal second and put himself in scoring position.
Mark Hirsch behind the plate has put together a lot of really good throws, and that was not the easiest pitch to throw down as a catcher, being an off-speed outside, but still he made that play a lot closer.
So Gamster in scoring position. Here's the 1-2 to Nias, and that one on the inside corner called strike 3. So Nias goes down looking, and that retires the Sox relatively quietly
For the Sox
in the bottom of the 7th. No runs on one hit, no errors, and one man left on base for the Sox. We'll head to the top of the 8th, 10-5 the score here from CHO Airport Field. Tom Sox as a pitching staff have walked 11 batters. It's one that's befell them many times this season, and yet again it feels to dethrone what was a very great start for this roster, as Riley Rory now in the game for the Sox delivers a first pitch swinging strike from A.J. Labruciano. As we already mentioned the other night against the Stanton Braves, the Sox tied the amount for second most walks allowed in franchise history of 14. Well, I can report today that we've tied the fourth most walks in a game in franchise history at 11. Rorty delivers the 0-2. That one, a breaking ball outside for ball 1.
And this is really what we saw at the beginning of the season a lot, Luke. This would just be the one kind of blow-up inning, you know, in 6 runs. That's the textbook definition.
Fastball misses up high and outside for ball 2. Count now even between Rorty and Lubriciano. Rorty out of the windup. It's 2-2. Swing and a miss. Lubriciano waves past the breaking ball there from Rorty, and a good start to his outing with a strikeout.
Now batting the third baseman, Jake Daly.
Now it's Jake Daly. Daly had the hit by pitch last inning before the man on deck, Mark Hirsch, clubbed a 3-run homer. First pitch from Rorty there misses for ball 1. Otherwise on the day he's walked, struck out back in the first, and doubled in the 5th. As Rorty delivers the next pitch, this one up high for ball 2. Riley's 2-0. Up high for third straight ball, now 3-0 count. Riley takes a second to center himself on the mound. Try to find the strike zone. Here's the 3-0. Finds the zone for the first strike. Now 3-1 to third baseman Jake Daly. Rorty from the windup. Swing and a miss. Daly's swinging strike makes it 3-2. The count's full. Rorty looking for his second punch out of the ball game. 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. The 12th walk of the ball game for the Tom Sox.
Now batting the catcher, Mark Hirsch.
12th walk allowed, I should say. Turns it over to Mark Hirsch.
It's just, you're really shooting yourself in the foot if you're the Tom Sox with all the walks. I mean, there's no other way around it. You have to throw the ball in the zone and, you know, sometimes the hitters will take you deep. Look, Mark Hirsch came into this game with like a 180 average, and he got taken deep against a guy who pitches in the SEC and has been flawless so far. Sometimes that happens, but you can't walk 12 guys in a game, not even a full game, and expect to you can't do that and expect to lose by, 5 or expect not to lose by 5.
1-0 to Hirsch. Runs inside to make the count 2-0.
At a certain point, you have to trust your defense, and with all the errors that the Tom Sox have had this season, I understand that is something that can be uncomfortable, but I mean, you just can't have it. This is not how a championship-winning team operates, walking 10-plus batters in a game. It's just not.
Well, they say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and that's been walks for the Tom Sox. It's been every other game, it feels like almost. Here's a 2-1 from Rorty, a check swing there from Hirsch. Peel to first, and they'll say he did. Make the count 2-2, but it feels that every other game you watch, you tune into, it's walk after walk after walk, and it is very hard. It's a known fact it's hard to throw strikes and pitch at a high level, but 2-2 called. Strike 3 for Riley Rorty, but you take a look at last season, the 3 highest records of walks allowed for the Tom Sox all set in 2024 and
Now batting the left
are now being
fielder,
rivaled by
Troy
the 2025
Davis.
Tom Sox. So it's been a consistent 2 years here for the Sox of a lot of walks. First pitch from Rory to the 9-hole hitter Troy Davis is a ball on the inside.
And you make a good point. It is difficult to, we can sit here as broadcasters in our chairs and say, well, they're not throwing enough strikes. Obviously, they are the collegiate athletes and we are not. But what we're doing is pointing out a problem that's really followed the Tom Sox all season long and followed them last year too, as you just mentioned, and it's something that you have to continue to deal with because this is a very clear problem. The home runs really don't happen that often against the Sox. I mean, this is the first one they've given up in a couple of games. But this has been a more consistent problem this season.
A quote I enjoy when I talk about baseball with my family and friends is one I saw in the Nationals bullpen on social media a couple years ago, and it was from their coach, posted, "I don't care how hard you throw a ball for." And that kind of is one of the things with velocity in this day and age is there's walk number 13 for the Tom Sox. That puts runners on first and second for Winchester at the top of the order at the plate. But at a certain point, you know, in any baseball player's career, they're told that velocity is king in today's age, and the arms of the past, the Kyle Hendricks, the Jamie Moyers, the Adam Wainwrights, who never really were heavy on velocity but always on control and movement, are a dying breed in today's game. This first pitch from Rory misses outside, but at levels like this where velocity isn't king, in my opinion, now it can be when you have guys like Saxon Roberts, but even they have games where they struggle to find the zone, and that's what's plagued this Tom Sox team is walks. There's strike from Rory, but it's something that needs to be fixed, and it's something that's been multiple games and has stolen multiple games away from this team this season. As Rory delivers another pitch, this one swung on and missed by Jaime Padilla, leadoff man, for strike 2.
The other point to be made is that, look, a lot of these guys haven't played even though they are collegiate athletes. A lot of red shirts out here and a lot of people who have been dealing with injuries, so you have to give them the benefit of the doubt in some circumstances.
Breaking ball misses up high for ball 2 to even up the count at 2-2. So Rory trying to pitch a scoreless inning, working around the 2 walks here. He's a pitch away from doing so. The 2-2. This one's tapped back with the mound. Rory falls over, makes a nice play, fields his position well, and gets the Sox out of the inning with a 1-3 putout. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on for the Royals in the top of the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th and see if the Sox can put some runs on the board.
Left on base.
Back to the broadcast booth here at CHO Airport Field. Tom Sox trailing 10-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hudson Luderman will do battle with Ian Kaiser to try and get the Sox back on the board for the first time since the second inning. It's been a while, Daniel. Sox haven't been able to really mount any offense, and caught up to them in the 7th when the Royals scored 6 to take the lead. Luderman ground ball to third. A beautiful play by Dally. Diving stab, throw over to Fry in time. And that goes for out number 1.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating afternoon for the Sox, and this has been kind of part of it. You know, the pitchers haven't been able to execute, and then you've had this string of defense that seems to follow the Sox everywhere. And Dally has played a really impressive third base. He's had a couple of plays back there that have really caught my eye.
Kaiser now delivers to the catcher, Brock Clayton, and he misses outside for ball 1. One and 0 count to Clayton, and he takes a big cut and misses. So now 1-1. The big lefty. He golfs that one into center field. Coming on as a center fielder, Padilla, but he'll be called off by A.J. Labruciano, who makes the catch in shallow left center. That's out number 2.
Now batting the left fielder from Jupiter, Florida, Walker Buchanan.
So now that brings up Walker Buchanan, who singled back in the 2nd, but has struck out twice in his other 2 at-bats. Kaiser delivers a first pitch. Strike on the outside half. Buchanan behind 0-1. Kaiser's next pitch also clips the zone for strike 2.
Not really quite sure what Buchanan's sitting on there. You just watched 2 fastballs go on the outer half. First one was kind of on the corner. Might be sitting off speed.
0-2 once more. This off speed in the dirt. No chance for Buchanan to take a hack at it. And now the count 1-2. Kaiser looking for another scoreless inning. His pitch swung on and missed. 3rd strikeout of the day for Walker Buchanan. And that means the Tom Sox go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We'll see what the 9th inning holds here from CHO Airport Field. Two, 3-4 due up for the Winchester Royals here in the top of the 9th inning. Just joining us, it's not been the finest ball game from the Tom Sox. They led for the majority of the ball game until the 7th inning, in which the Royals exploded for 6 runs, including a 3-run shot from Mark Hirsch as Riley Rorty delivers a first pitch to Connor Guy for a ball. And it's been the same old for the Sox pitching staff. Walks have plagued them. They've walked 13 today, tied for the 3rd most in a single game in team history, as Rorty forces a pop-up Nias ranging over towards the Royals dugout. He makes the catch in foul ground for out number 1. So now with 1 down, it'll go to the 3-hitter Todd Abraham.
Now batting the second baseman, Todd Abraham.
Game against Stanton last week. The Sox walked 14. Today they've walked 13. First pitch from Rorty, a called strike. And Rorty's looked solid today out of the bullpen. Much better than some of his other appearances this season. 0-1. Another breaking ball that finds the zone. And quickly 0-2 now to the 3-hitter. Rorty's 0-2. Fastball up high for ball 1. And Daniel, the Sox have out-hit the Winchester Royals today, but again, hits don't matter when you're allowing base runners at the clip the Sox pitching staff has done today.
Well, I think it's also just because of the lack of extra base hits. You have a double from Luderman in the 3rd. You have the double from Williams in the 1st. And other than that, nada.
Rorty's 2-2 fouled back off the screen, and the count will stay at 2-2.
And this is where kind of the downsides of the Sox, like small ball, aggressive, gritty approach starts to come in, because one part of that is the pitching, and you have to operate under the idea that your pitching is not going to give up double-digit runs.
Rorty gets a ground ball to 3rd. Nias stays with it, fires over to Williams at 1st in time for out number 2.
You know, if you have an offense that skill set is not reliant or upon the home run ability, and it works for the Tom Sox when you're allowing 4 runs a game, not when you're allowing 10 runs a game and walking 15 people. And so there's 2 ways that the Tom Sox can mitigate this, right? One of them is to just reduce the walks, which Riley Rorty so far has done a decent job at. He's been able to strand his runners on base through 1 2/3 innings. And the other way to do that is to hit for more power. And again, that is easier said than done. I understand that. But something has to change, because this is really the reason why they're not on a winning streak right now, is because of their inability to play a consistent team game.
So Rorty now behind the 4-hitter Parker Fry, 2-0. Rorty delivers the 2-0 pitch. This one fought off by Fry to make it a 2-1 count. The Royals leading the season series with the Sox. 1-0, and if they were to win today, it'll be a clean sweep of the series at 2-0. Rorty's next pitch misses down low and inside for ball 3. These teams won't see each other again until potentially the Valley League Championship, if that were to be the case. 3-1 now. Rorty delivers. Ball 4. So that ties the Tom Sox season high in walks at 14 and puts them at 2nd all-time in a game with 14. And that turned things over to Joey Agar, the DH. It's not Joey Agar. It'll be a pinch hitter for the Royals. It'll be number 21, Nick Rubendahl.
Pinch hitting is number 21, Nick Rubendahl.
Rorty's 1-0 to Rubendahl up high for ball 2. And a good hitter's count here for the pinch hitter. Rorty delivers the next pitch. This one grounded down the 3rd baseline, and it'll stay foul.
Now, there is a silver lining in all of this. It's that the Tom Sox record for walks given up in a game took place on July 31st against Purcellville. That was in the Valley League Championship as that ball's fouled away. That game was only 7 innings long, and it's kind of a wild end of the season. The original game was postponed, and then they ended up playing the game. The Sox lost that one 21-8 in 7 innings. But then they came back the next day and they won the championship. So they can get past it, but it also means they have to score more runs.
Rory forces Ruben Dahl to foul that one back off the screen, and he'll stay alive at 2-2. That championship series was a wild one. You know, most teams would have hung their heads after being defeated by 13 runs in the second game of the series, but the Sox rallied back courtesy of some gutsy play from some of their stars in Game 3 to win the BBL title last year, as Ruben Dahl check swings, and they'll say he went. So Rory strikes out the final batter of the top of the 9th, and well, it's crunch time in the 9th here, folks. Sox need 5 runs to send it to extras, 6 runs to walk it off. Stay tuned for the bottom of the 9th here from CHO Airport Field. Nine-1-2 gut check time for the Sox. Kyle Langley, Perry Hargett, and Jackson Soroy, the 3 scheduled to do battle here with Ian Kaiser, who's looking for his 4th inning of work, which, if he were to close out this game, would earn him a save. Kaiser's first pitch to Langley fought off down the left field line. It's going to be sprayed foul and out of play, leaving the stadium.
That foul ball was brought to you by First Heritage Mortgage.
Crowd not exactly very lively here at CHO Airport Field. A lot of the life sucked out after the 7th inning explosion from the Royals. This next pitch to Langley down low in the dirt for ball 1.
I know we were talking about AJ and Big Justice earlier in this game, but it ended up being the Royals who really brought the boom. And, you know, they need, I mean, maybe the Tom Sox need a couple chicken bakes to fuel themselves up. I don't know.
There's a Costco nearby as Langley brings the boom to that baseball into the gap, but won't be able to reach the gap as it's caught out there by the left fielder, Troy Davis, for out number 1.
At the top of the order for your Tom Sox, the center fielder from UNC, Perry Hargett.
So now it's Perry Hargett who, for one of the first times this season, isn't batting next to his best friend, Lee Sowers. First pitch to Hargett, fouled back out of play.
Want to sponsor that foul ball?
Strike 1.
Visit tomsox.org/sponsorships to find out how today.
So now the 0-1 count to the one-hitter Hargett. He takes pitch in the dirt for ball 1. The 1-1 from Kaiser to Hargett. It's down low for ball 2.
Tom Sox will have a couple of games on the road after this. Again, they don't really get an off day for the next week or so. Have Purcellville tomorrow and then Waynesboro after that.
2-1, misses the zone, make it a 3-1 count to Perry. So now a 3-1 count. Hargett looking to reach base. That pitch will find the zone, and it won't let him reach base. Kaiser looking to put down Hargett here in a full count. 3-2 pitch. Check swing, appeal down to first, and he didn't go. So Hargett works a walk. And the Sox get a base runner here in the bottom of the ninth.
It's the third walk issued by Kaiser, and the starter, Owen Powell, it's worth noting, he only issued 2. So a guy who's given up 8 of the 9 Tom Sox hits walked only 2, and he gave up 5 runs, but Winchester's still in a position to win here.
First pitch to Soroy goes up high for ball 1. Seems to be a pitcher making his way out to the Winchester dugout, bullpen, to get loose. 1-0 to Soroy, a breaking ball that catches the zone, and Soroy kind of grimaces, thinking that might have been his pitch.
Yeah, Soroy grimaces, but he's just trying to get on base for the guy who is actually wearing purple on deck, Preston Gamster.
Next pitch to Soroy, outside for ball 2. So Kaiser seems to be the man that the Royals want to stick with, but there is an arm getting loose. That fastball from Kaiser misses. I believe the man getting loose for the Royals is number 5, Michael Burnley. That's a 3-1 count to Soroy. He takes a big hack at the fastball and can't connect to run the count full. Soroy was the hero last night. Right now, he'll just want to pass that title on to somebody else. The 3-2, swing and a miss. So Soroy goes down swinging, and the hopes of a rally dwindle even further.
Now batting the designated hitter from TCU, Preston Gamster.
So give way to Preston Gamster. 1 for 2 today. And we'll have a mound visit here from Winchester, and maybe the end of Kaiser's outing, which feels a bit premature.
Yeah, everyone in the infield is going to go up and join Kaiser on the mound here. Being up by 5 with 2 outs in the 9th and then opting for a mound visit is certainly a strategy.
It's a bold move. See if it pays off for them.
I wouldn't necessarily call it bold. It's like the closest thing to like an italic move. So you're just kind of doing it for the sake of
italic move. Ooh. You mean underline?
Maybe underlined. Strike through. That it's a strike through move.
When have you
That's
used
what
strike
it
through
is.
though in your life? Here's the first pitch to Gamster. That one clips him. So Gamster will get himself on base, turned over to Elijah Williams with a runner in scoring position.
Well, now they're definitely not going to take out Kaiser because you have the lefty-lefty matchup.
So now it's a 0-0 count. Fresh 1-2 Williams. He takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner.
Did not like that call, but just got to do anything you can here to keep the line moving.
Kaiser's 0-1. It's a line drive. Looking to find the gap in right center. It'll drop in for a base hit. Hargett around third. He'll score. Gamster gets himself to third. So an RBI single for Elijah Williams. Passes the baton to Patrick Nias.
And Nias in this game, it's just been a rough one for him. 0 for 4, but in at bat number 5, you got to change that outcome here.
And rightfully so, it might be the end of the outing for Kaiser. What a solid one it was. He'll leave just 1 out shy of 4 shutout innings. And that'll give way to Michael Burnley, but we'll take a break and be back for the final out here on the Tom Sox Broadcast Network. Well, as Michael Burnley steps in, and Daniel, I don't want to say there's a chance, but taking a look at his stat lines from this season, and I'm not going to speak any further, but you have his first 2 appearances from this season, and well, they aren't great.
9 earned runs and 7 earned runs, respectfully. Since then, he's been good.
Let's see if the Sox can find that stroke of luck as the first pitch is swung on and missed. Fastball, Nias can't connect. It's a big moment for Pat Nias, who's been one of the mainstays in this Sox lineup since game 1. It's the 0-1, down low for ball 1. So Burnley gets his sign, delivers the 1-1. That one inside, it drills Nias. So the tying run up at plate. And in an eerily similar situation to the loss against Stanton, Hudson Luderman represents the tying run.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the book here. The 9th inning, Luderman came up, and he struck out to end that game, but it was a game that was incredibly close at the end, and in a similar situation here for Luderman.
Burnley wants the music off. He'll get his request.
Can't say I've ever heard somebody complain about Brent Faiyaz playing for too long.
I know Hudson Luderman wasn't complaining.
Definitely not.
He would have loved to have an entire at-bat with that song. Here's Burnley's first pitch to Luderman, up high. So now if you're Winchester, and Burnley hasn't exactly had the best command to start off this outing, if Luderman was to reach base, what do you do? There's the 1-0. This one's popped up. It'll get out of play. So Luderman survives, but it'll be a 1-1 count. And for a game that we thought was surely over just a few batters ago, now a huge moment in this one. 1-1 to Luderman. This one's popped up. Back behind the plate, but it's going to get out of play. Hit off the bleachers, and Luderman, 1 strike left to play with. Gamster on third, Williams on second, Nias on first. Luderman the tying run at the dish. Burnley will deliver the 1-2. Luderman takes up high for ball 2. And a key moment in this one, the last hope for the Sox, Hudson Luterman. Everyone eyes attentively on this at-bat. 2-2. Tapped foul, and Luterman narrowly survives. He smirks a little bit as he walks away, as he nearly ended the ball game with a swing and a miss there. Catcher Mark Hirsch gives some words of encouragement to Michael Burnley on the mound. It's here in crunch time. Burnley gets his sign, delivers the 2-2. Luterman pops this one up again, but out of play. Luterman just trying to find his timing, and he's trying to elevate. He wants to tie this ball game in one swing. Burnley once more with the signals. And a 2-2 again. Luterman taps that one right back towards us, and he stays alive. And Hudson Luterman fighting for his right to party. If you like the Beastie Boys, there you go. For all the wild happenings and technical difficulties of this game, it all comes down to this. 2-2 once again. Down low to run the count full. So a big-time action pitch. Runners will be in motion for Luterman. Burnley looking to get out of this. 3-2 to Huddy. Popped up and out of play again. So Luterman may have just fouled off ball 4. But he'll see the 10th pitch of this at-bat right here from Burnley. Burnley's 3-2. Down low for ball 4. 10-7. And Brock Clayton will step to the plate. Clayton, who's been quiet all day, worked a walk back in the 6th. But we know that he has the power to end this ball game in one swing.
He definitely does, and it was a heck of an at-bat from Hudson Luterman, and so now you're just trying to control your emotions here if you're Brock Clayton, and probably the biggest at-bat of his Tom Sox career thus far.
So Michael Burnley, after walking home run, delivers the first pitch to Clayton outside for ball 1. As we mentioned, the Royals have a lefty getting loose out in their pen as a contingency. Hoping Burnley can end this ball game recording 1 out. The 1-0 to Clayton. Clips the strike zone for strike 1. So the 1-1 count to Clayton. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. And now 1-2. Clayton's been frustrated with his performance some games this season, but he has no better chance to make up for it than right now. 1-2 pitch. Inside, just missed the corner. Clayton manages to stay alive. A near miss for Michael Burnley. Two to Burnley. And the count runs full.
It is Lee Sowers on deck should this game continue.
3-2 pitch from Burnley to Clayton. Here's the offering. outside, ball 4. And so what doesn't kill you apparently helps you if it's the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Back-to-back RBI walks, turn the page for Lee Sowers. Sox looking to tie this game up, and we'll have a mound visit, and you have to believe change will be made as the Royals will go to a lefty here to face Lee Sowers. We'll have that name for you on the other side of this pitching change here from CHO Airport Field. So in what we thought was a foregone conclusion to this ball game, now it's pretty interesting. 10-8 here in the bottom of the ninth, 2 down. Some changes for the Sox. Pinch running for Brock Clayton will be Lee Sowers. Pinch hitting for Walker Buchanan will be Evan Taveras, who's been one of the hottest hitters for the Sox in the past 5 games, batting .385 in 13 at-bats. Tying run on second, winning run at first with Sowers. Gavin Sansone, the pitcher for the Royals. First pitch to Taveras. Clips the zone for strike 1. And now Mark Hirsch is going to take a walk, talk with Sansone.
Sansone has given up an earned run in 4 of his 5 appearances this season. He's given up a hit in 4 of his 5 appearances as well. And 4 of his 5 appearances have ended up being losses for the Royals.
All it takes is 1. With a base hit, Evan Taveras could claw the Tom Sox back into this ball game. And an 0-1 count to the pinch hitter, Evan Taveras. Next one up high for ball 1. So Kyle Langley awaits on deck if it were to get that far. Sansone gets his sign. The lefty Fires the 1-1. Swing and a miss. So once again, the Sox are down to their last strike. But the past 2 times they've been down to their last strike, the hitters have battled back. Sansone looking to end it. The 1-2. Up high for ball 2. This type of grit we've seen the Sox demonstrate all year long, battling to their final out. Sansone from the stretch. His next offering. Outside for ball 3, and the count runs full.
And with that full count, the runners will be on the move here. So, ball in the gap. Everyone's going.
Sowers at first, Luderman at second, Nias at third, Taveras at the plate. The 3-2. Tapped foul, and Taveras stays alive. Rarely do you expect in a game where you walk 14 batters to be in it till the final out, but it's exactly what Charlottesville has done, clawed its way back with 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th. 3-2, and time will be called by Mark Hirsch. Taveras steps back in. Sansone trying to put this one on ice. 3-2. Called strike 3. And that ends the ball game. Taveras caught looking, and the Sox comeback effort falls short.
Charlottesville Tom Sox
10-8 after 9 innings. The Sox fall to the Royals, and they'll fall in the season series to 0-2.
Your Tom Sox will be back at home Wednesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. against the Culpeper Cavaliers. Join us as we celebrate community and the tremendous Sox.
This is a tough loss, and you know, they were down by 5, and things were bleak, but that comeback really changed things, and you know, it stings to go down looking. That ball did look below the zone to me, but the Tom Sox, they just have to wait another day to try to climb below or above 500.
So the Sox fall to 13-14 on the year, even though they had 14-13 in their sights and being above 500 for the first time this season. They'll be back at it tomorrow, taking on the Purcellville Cannons in a rematch of the VBL Championship. The last time this season they defeated Purcellville 8-2. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. Luke Stefanisco and my partner Daniel Stein. We appreciate you listening in all season long to all of us here at the Tom Sox. The Sox fall 10-8 in 9 innings here to the Winchester Royals. Once again, folks, thanks for listening.